Hello, hello. Good morning, good morning. We are jumping right into the benefits of imposter syndrome. And I apologize in advance for the technical delay here, but we are streaming on a couple different areas. This is a podcast. We're recording this live for a podcast, Courageous and Free with Jacqueline Mack, over on iTunes and all the podcast players. We're over here on Instagram Live, and we are here on YouTube Live and LinkedIn Live. So any questions, please post them. I will answer them post this program because I want to keep this very efficient and I want to edit less in the actual podcast. But let's jump right in because there is a good part to imposter syndrome, believe it or not. Most people talk about imposter syndrome in such a negative light. And it's negative when we allow the self-doubt to stop us from what we ultimately desire. But today I want to talk about what the best part is. Because what I've found to be true over 20 plus years in high ticket sales, over 20 plus years, actually even more than my sales experience, coaching and mentoring individuals, is that imposter syndrome shows up no matter what your profession is, no matter how much money you make, no matter how many credentials and titles and certificates and diplomas you have behind your name, it shows up. And if it stops you from doing what you love or doing what you desire, that's when it becomes a problem. But if we can look at imposter syndrome and teach it and use it as a tool to bring awareness and kind of shine that spotlight onto the thing that we need, deserve to work on, right? So it's actually a really quick way to unlock your potential, unlock your possibility, unlock anything that you desire that you've been resisting and the blocks that have been placed there that we are now labeling imposter syndrome. And this is in any area of your life. This is in your work in the world. This is with your money freedom, your time freedom, your health, and even your relationships. When you start to become aware and notice what you're noticing, that's when we can say, oh, there's some work to be done here, right? So do you ever feel like you're not good enough, even when you're succeeding? Even when I was writing my notes for this talk today, I watched as imposter syndrome crept in. It's like, who are you to talk about this? Who am I not to talk about this? Not only from my own personal experiences, but through the hundreds of people I've personally coached and the thousands of phone calls through my sales experience that I could see the imposter syndrome keeping them from investing into the thing they knew they wanted for their personal development or their business or their you fill in the blank. And they were giving their power away to money, circumstances, situations, imposter syndrome. So if you've ever felt like you've never been good enough, or even just for a hot second, even while you're succeeding, because this is where it can really like mess with your mind and delay us from what we deserve, what we desire. And today I'm going to talk to you a couple steps and tips on how to overcome this, because that's what it's about. It's overcoming it and not allowing it to stop you, not ignoring it and not thinking, oh, imposter syndrome, here it comes, look the other way. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about being aware of it and embracing the best part of it. So it's that uncomfortable feeling that's often labeled imposter syndrome that most of us want to avoid, right? How many of you have done that before? But what if I told you that imposter syndrome could actually be your greatest ally? Today, we're going to jump into those hidden benefits of imposter syndrome. We're going to explore how those nagging feelings, that self-doubt, the inadequacy can actually shine that spotlight in the area and the work that needs to be done, that deserves to be done. If you want to overcome, you have to do the work. It's not a check the box one and done. It's going to pop up again and again and again. Maybe less frequently once we get good at this and we start mastering it. And maybe for the duration, a lot less longer. How many of you have allowed imposter syndrome to keep you from something for a year or 2 or 10? Sometimes people a lifetime. What if it was only a couple seconds, an hour of your day, and you worked through it? How cool would that be, right? So I'm going to give you those tools and tips today. In this session, we're going to actually jump into why feeling like an imposter can actually indicate room for growth. No matter how smart you are, how many books you've read, no matter what your area of expertise is, even if it's in the area of imposter syndrome, right? Like me, as a recovering perfectionist, a recovering type A, this still shines the light and saying, hey, this area is ready for growth. And I'll look and I'll be like, well, I'm not ready to grow there. Okay, then you'll just delay and you'll keep getting what you're getting. Or I can say, wow, yeah, there's a lot of resistance here. There's a lot of doubt. There's a lot of something screaming at me that's slowing this process down. One example is that pops up a lot for my clients and myself is, well, you're just not good enough yet. Ugh, that phrase, or even just that word, you're not blank yet. Imposter syndrome. So why? Why do we allow those lies and those limiting beliefs to be true? Why do we give our power away to them? This is how we use the imposter syndrome as a guide for our inner work journey. And it gets to be fun. We get to laugh at it, be like, oh, there it is again. Not today. And not even for a hot second. And this is how we get to use it as a tool, as a guide. It's an emotional guidance system we have if we use it. But what are we taught? To maybe stuff our emotions down, to not cry, to not share, to not feel. Woo! Emotional guidance system, that feeling. When our thoughts are limiting and lying to us, how can we use that feeling of like, oh, that I don't know, that doesn't feel right, it can't be true. I don't want it to be true, but why am I believing it to be true? Because our thoughts are patterns, and if we repeat the thought over and over, what does it become? A belief. So again, as a recovering perfectionist, I have embraced that good enough is actually good enough. Good enough is actually good enough. Call it done. Put a bow on it. Because we can continue to work on things and make things better. Use an example of our home. We bought a home that was built in 1988. Seems like old, ancient when I talk about this day and age. But it was on a beautiful 3 acres near a lake, 10, 15 minutes from an international airport, sunny Central Florida, near all the entertainment we could possibly ever want, beaches, palm trees, lakes. We take our boat on, we go camping with our camper, just have a really good outdoors life. That's my family. And yet there's always little projects we could do to make the home better. There's always something. Always, like, down to the littlest, silliest thing, I have lists. But I don't allow those lists to keep me from living. I don't allow those lists to say, oh, one day when I'll take care of this. No. How can I get creative and create a yes and with replacing, for example, right now, the kitchen island, which I just replaced 2 years ago, which like my husband's like, really? Thousands of dollars again? Kitchen island? Well, I made a big mistake. Mistake in life. A mistake. I bought marble. I didn't realize how finicky marble was. It's a beautiful piece of marble that's huge. It's the biggest island. Every time people come into our house, they're like, oh my God, I love your island. I'm like, don't get too close. There's etching. Marble is very finicky. But through some calls, through some getting creative, found some places. Actually, the place I actually bought the marble fund. Will you buy your marble back from me? Because once they clean it up again and make it super shiny, they can sell it to somebody else who's okay with the marble being that way, right? You can throw it up on a wall piece. And so again, these things that I could be like, oh, not until this, or oh, we can make up these stories and these lies, and then we believe them, and then we delay what we inevitably desire, and what we desire, we deserve. And by the way, this is going to be a very quick talk because I'm going to give you one step to take today, one actionable step just to overcome this imposter syndrome, to see how this becomes a growth opportunity versus a hold you back opportunity, which is what most of us allow imposter syndrome to do. I have a guide that has 5 actionable tips in it. It's a free guide to overcome imposter syndrome. Like right now, today, this will radically, radically impact your money freedom, your time freedom, your relationships, your work in the world, how you show up, how you make decisions, experiencing what you desire sooner than later. I guarantee it. And if it doesn't, message me, because I guarantee there's a block or an old belief that is standing in the way of that even being possible. 5. You could use all 5 tips or 1. and you will get results from it. This is the same stuff I've been sharing with my coaching clients for the past 15 plus years. I was sharing with them before then, but I didn't actually put it in a manual till 15 years ago. So again, as a recovering perfectionist, how many of you are recovering perfectionists? You embrace the good enough as good enough. Because at the end of the day, perfectionism also, we've used the phrase, I'm not ready yet, or once I'm ready, I will blank. Ready is not a feeling. Write this down. Ready is not a feeling. And you're probably like, what? Yeah, it is a feeling. Like when I'm ready, I do the thing. I take the action. You can take the action, and that's when you're ready. You can say, I'm going to get ready to go to the gym at 5 a.m. and you don't go to the gym. And then you say, I'm going to go at 8. I'm going to go at 9. You're going to get ready to get ready to get ready to get ready. Until you show up and commit to walking through the door of the gym, you never went to the gym. And I remember as a kid playing hide and go seek. Ready or not, here I come. Ready or not. I'm taking action. I'm coming towards you. I'm taking the steps. I'm doing the thing. So whenever I catch myself or my clients saying, yeah, once I'm ready to blah, 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 then I'm going to do this. I'm going to get ready to blah, 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 and then I'm going to do that. Really? And I say, ready or not, here you come. Right now. What step are you taking? What can you do that'll take less than 5 minutes to get you one more step closer to your goal? What can you do right now to rearrange your schedule, to set some boundaries, to get you one more step closer to your goal, to your desires, to your dreams? And another way you can pivot this is, okay, how will I know when I'm ready? Well, once this happens, or once I get that, or once I overcome this, really? You're giving your power away to once that thing happens, a circumstance. You're giving your power away to once this person calls me back, to that other person. Once I have this much money, you're giving your power away to money. How will you know when you're ready? Because you're actually ready now. But Jackie, you don't understand. I can't be a nurse until I get the degree. I got it. But are you getting the degree? No, I haven't applied because I don't have the money. How many ways can you make the money to get the degree? Like, again, we can dive super deep into this today, but it really just comes into the self-talk. Imposter syndrome is basically dissuasion, limiting beliefs and lies. And it will delay you from living out your dreams more than anything in the world. Well, second close one to that is fear. But I will beg to differ if I could find the research that imposter syndrome stops people more than fear, because fear is very clear to see. Imposter syndrome, the sneaky little lies and thoughts in our head of the self-doubt, is sneaky, and we're less aware of it. Would you agree? Would you agree? So ask yourself, how will I know when I'm ready? And then work on that. Be curious. And then flip the script. Okay, if I'm saying I'll be ready when that happens, what am I actually doing? Where am I actually giving my power away? And this will usually take care of it, because beneath all those stories and those lies boils down to your will. Your will is stronger than your willpower. And I did a whole other podcast on this, so you can go back and look it up. But your will is definitely stronger than your willpower. You could wake up and be out of willpower within the first hour of waking up. And this is why some people who wait to go to the gym after work, I'm using the gym analogy as a really easy example, but this is in the same way of your relationships, your health, your money, your longevity, your adventure, your connection, your time freedom, all boils down to you will, because you either will or you won't. You either will or you won't. Well, I'll do that later. Will you? Are you committed to it? What time? By when? That's commitment versus just maybe, sort of, kind of, it will happen, right? So if that doesn't get to the root of it, which it should, then I will ask, what if I'm ready right now? What if I was already ready? What would I do? And see if imposter syndrome sneaks back in. How will I be? What would I show up? How would I make a decision? What do I think I still need to do the thing? Do I really need that? Or can I get creative and use something else? Can I call a friend? Can I reach out to a mentor? Can I search it up, as my daughters would say? I used to say, Google it. And they're like, Google it? What are you saying? Search it up, Mom. Can I search it up somewhere? Because beliefs are only causing you to delay. And your beliefs, again, are thoughts that you repeat over and over and over again. And some of those you believe and you don't want to let go of because they've served you, they've protected you, they've kept you in the familiar. They've allowed you to live the life you live now, which could be pretty freaking good. But if you want to level up to the next level, we got to let go of some of that old. We got to step into new thoughts, new beliefs, new patterns, and definitely embrace the fact that imposter syndrome just gives us the opportunity to grow and expand. Imposter syndrome is opportunity. And opportunity is growth. And when we can start to master this, we now discipline in being aware of it and not allowing it to stop us. And discipline is freedom. So if you'd like the other 4 practical tips on how to overcome your imposter syndrome today, DM me the word imposter or go grab the link in the show notes over at iTunes, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. It's all there and all the channels. And I promise you, I am certain of it, that these practical steps will actually radically transform your self-doubt. Some very slightly, and you'll be like, whoa, days later. Others in a very radical, massive way, because your self-awareness. It's the level of your self-awareness that you allow yourself to notice what you're noticing, that you allow yourself to call it out and be like, damn it, here it is again. No blame, no shame, but I'm glad I caught it now to stop it sooner. I'm so grateful for this awareness. I'm so grateful for understanding that this is just an area for me to ask better questions, to go a little deeper, to clean it up, to pivot, to reset, to set some boundaries. And it will benefit your pocketbook, your finances, your professional life, your relationships forever. So if you're ready to reframe your mindset, if you're ready to see imposter syndrome be a tool for you versus a clutch that we get excuses to and we allow it to delay us, then go back, re-listen to this, take some notes, and take action today on the one simple tip and grab the other 5, because I promise you, you won't regret it. All right, I'm going to send you off with so much love. Until next time, bye for now.